goodness, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Okay, so this is the topic that is right up my alley. I am actually really excited about talking about nuclear capabilities and nuclear stuff and everything else. And oh my goodness, Tinkle Tits Muggy, member for 5 months. Holy poopers. By the way, I wanted to say thank you to all of the members because your contributions got me these pretty amazing boom arm for the mic. And so that way it's out of the way and I don't have to do anything else. Okay, so another thing, if we are actually getting sponsored now. Woo! Yay! Yay! Getting sponsored. StreamYard. StreamYard. If you guys sign up for StreamYard, you get $10 off, like on a paid membership. So within this video description, at the very top, there is a link if you would like to do that, and you get $10 off. Go StreamYard. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think I've been really just doing a whole bunch of lives and everything on StreamYard that hold on. I think there is a vodka behind me. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but speaking of StreamYard, okay, there you go. It reset itself. Okay. I blame Infinity. Yes, there is a vodka behind me. You guys, this is pretty amazing. So my mom brought this. My mom brought this from Ukraine for me. Born in Ukraine during the resistance. It's pretty neat. And then Nipoborna. It's Xfinity. I know Xfinity is trying to push me out like nuts. Like I don't know what it is. They keep telling me that I need to, I don't know, get some stuff. Let's play some music in the background. Okay, because we're gonna get to the topic, the nuclear weapons talk topic in a minute. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Let's do some welcoming to the committee, welcoming to the stream and everything else. Punizione, obviously. You're here. TF is here. Tinkle Tits McGee is here. Dave is here. Oh my goodness. We have all of the members are here. Yo, this is cool. That's awesome. Yeah, so thank you guys. Thank you so much for your membership. Like this is pretty amazing. I got this boom arm. If you guys are coming in, I got this boom arm and it's so cool. And so I'm literally set up to do videos on a fly, like on 100% on a fly. So if any kind of news comes out, I'll be like, "Yay, boom." You know, we can get any kind of news out really fast, just like I did the video yesterday. Speaking of the video yesterday, right? Alrighty, let's get actually into hold on just 1 second. Okay, so StreamYard. Don't forget, if you want to stream, go to StreamYard. This is cool. There you go. Discover new military moves in orbit. I freaking love nuclear weapons. I mean, I don't love nuclear weapons because they should not be around whatsoever. But I can talk about the nuclear weapons. Oh my goodness, Nikki! Yay! I'm telling you, all of the members are like literally in the chat. I love it. I love it. Okay. So let's get to the point. I got my notes. Okay, so basically today we are doing a deep dive into the intricate dance of geopolitics and silent battles waged beyond our earthly confines, right? So we're going to dissect the topic that basically sounds like straight out of space, right? Let's see. Where are my notes? My notes. Here they are. We're gonna move this over here. And I have some of the videos that I will show you guys later too. All right, this is kind of interesting because I usually don't stream at 4 on a Thursday, which is pretty neat. Let's see. Okay. All right, so it began with a statement from the White House, from the spokesperson like John Kirby, right? And he was addressing concerns over technology that feels both like futuristic and frightening, like anti-satellite weapons. Well, Kirby's comments came in the wake of murmurs and cryptic messages circulating in corridors of power, especially after Ohio Representative Michael Turner. He's a key figure on like House Intelligence Committee, right? And he hinted at the existence of a Russian anti-satellite weapon. Okay, so first of all, the intelligence intelligence committee and everything, there's a thing, they have the security protocols, and they have to declassify, and then they have to go through all of the steps through all of these people to declassify all of these documents. And when this kind of information comes from actually from a congressman, because they are not supposed to be talking about it, right? And a lot of people saying it was because it was a Republican political move or something else, or they just wanted to stir everything up. And I tell you what, you do not have to worry about some nuclear weapons in space right now, because it's really just a rumor for now. And I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so okay, so Kirby was basically clear. We're not talking about the weapon that can be used to attack human beings or cause physical destruction on Earth, right? And then he assured the public with that. I was listening to that earlier, and it was really, really interesting because the sources that come for this kind of intel information, they're pretty much burnt because some Republican guy decided to come out and talk about, talk about this capabilities, but where the sources are coming from, right? And you always have to protect the people. You always have to protect the sources. So, anyways, we'll get to that. Basically, let's see, the narrative took a turn when high-level briefings involved like Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor, and Avril Haines, the Director of National Intelligence and Pentagon representative. Their message to congressional leaders was one of cautious transparency, promising to unveil more about the nature of the so-called Russian anti-satellite weapon. And we'll talk about it in a minute. But the announcement was met with somewhat bipartisan response, a rarity in today's political climate. So Speaker Mike Johnson, there's all my notes, and by the way, I'm reading from my notes. Speaker Mike Johnson, alongside Turner, expressed a conscious optimism about the Biden's administration handling of the situation. Both highlighted the importance of the threat, not as direct assault weapon, but as a strategic tool that could jeopardize the United States' extensive satellite network, essential for everything from military defense to global communications. And beyond the immediate political and military implications, this development invites us to consider the broader ramifications. Okay, you know what? I'm going to screw the notes. We're going to talk about this right now. So, what? Basically, it's a rumor, right? It's a rumor, and it's not been deployed. That weapon is not been deployed. And if you do explode the nuclear weapon in space, what it will do, it create an EMP, right? Electromagnetic pulse. And that electromagnetic pulse can wipe out the crucial satellites. extremely crucial satellites, especially for defense. And it's not just in the United States, it's majority of the world that have satellites in there. And their capability, we're not sure. I'm sure they're going to come out later on actually saying if they do have it or not have it. And the capability, it might be there to deploy that kind of weapon. But also what it will do, it will break the space treaty of 1967. So in 1967, the space treaty, about 100 different countries came with the leading front of UK, Russia, and United States. And they came and saying that space would not be militarized whatsoever. Space is more for urban or for the exploration, scientific exploration. And there's not going to be allowed any weapons in space. And this treaty, yeah, obviously we know with a lot of Russian stuff that's been happening, they like to break a whole bunch of treaties, a whole bunch of world laws, and a lot of the times it really depends on how we view this, right? First of all, the treaty should have been updated a long time ago, and I can get into the treaty for multiple reasons. Oh, actually, you know what? Speaking of the different stuff, yesterday I stumbled upon a whole bunch of my research from undergrad and grad school, and I'm thinking, and I am talking about space treaty as well in that one of the research, and I'm thinking to start updating some of the research and actually posting it as an articles or making a little bit of a video too. I think that could be pretty interesting. Let's see. And okay, hold on just 1 second. So there is no need to panic. There is no need to panic. The nuclear weapons not in space. Russia has not deployed anything. They might be some kind of capabilities to disrupt the satellites, and whatever they have to deploy into space, most likely nuclear powered. Nuclear powered, it means that power from that comes from a nuclear reaction, right? From atomic reaction within a weapon. Another thing to consider, if they do deploy that into space, what if it falls out of orbit? What if it falls out of anything and it can literally fall into any country, anywhere else, and now you have not a nuclear explosion, but it would most likely cause as an RDD, like radiological dispersive device, because it carries the radiological, not panic. So it carries the radiological materials on, right? Because it's nuclear powered. Yeah, not panic. And if it does get deployed and it falls out, it's not going to be a nuclear explosion, because with the nuclear weapons, there's a lot more technological things that have to happen. And, that we have an implosion device, we have a gun type device, we have the Hydra bomb, we have all of this other stuff. And actually, we're going to talk about some of the Russian capabilities of the new nuclear weapons capabilities. And I do have Chaos. Hey, welcome back. So I do have, this website, it's Nuke Map. Nuke Map is really interesting because you can go and pick anywhere in the world and calculate the type of nuclear explosion that can happen for the plume modeling, for the calculate. Oh my God, I'm getting like a little bit too technical over here. So it's for the plume modeling. It's radiological fallout from the nuclear weapon. You can calculate that hypothetically. So I have that, guys, for you. So if you guys sticking around here, all right, just get in here. We are talking about nuclear weapons and some of the rumors that speculating Russia deploying nuclear-powered satellites to disrupt any other satellites within space. And I said rumors, just rumors, because technically it hasn't been declassified. So, and I think it was just a political move on Turner, and when he came out and started saying that, to see if he can cause any kind of rackets, right? All right, let's shrug this out. So House Intelligence Committee. I'm gonna share the screen with you. A window. Twitter. I mean X, not Twitter. X, right? Let's change a little bit of background music. Okay, so the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence worked in consultation with Biden administration to notify Congress of this national security threat. In addition, language in the bipartisan notification issued by the chair and ranking member to all members of the House was cleared by administration prior to its release. The House Intelligence Committee voted 23-1 to make this information available to members of Congress. White House officials confirmed that, in their view, the matter was serious. And that's what Turner has said, right? So, and that's another reason yesterday kind of went into the crazy turmoil and stuff. I do want to play this. It's about 6 minutes long, and it's Anderson Cooper interviewing Leon Panetta. And actually, well, he was a former defense secretary and a CIA director. It's a kind of fun fact. I actually met Leon Panetta in Monterey when I was going through grad school, and I met his son as well. So I met his son during one of the military balls that we did, and he just made an appearance. It was a naval ball at NPS, the Naval Postgraduate School. But Leo Panetta, I met him. He was one of the speakers that was doing some speech in the grad school, so it was pretty neat. And just kind of like let you know why I'm talking about nuclear weapons, because I do have I have a master's degree in nonproliferation and terrorism studies, and I'm 20-year retired veteran of weapons of mass destruction analyst in the military. So that's why I was like, this is really, really up my alley. Okay. That's awesome. You get an up close view. I see it every single lunch. Okay. So let's pause the music, and I wanted to watch this segment really fast. Just 1 second. Make sure the sound is on. Everything's good. There it is. All right. Can you guys hear this? You can't hear them. Hold on a second. Yeah, let me know if you can actually, we can hear you but not CNN. Okay. But seriously, let me know if nothing is working. All right, to share audio, share tab with screen instead. Oh, got it. Okay. Share audio. I'm gonna do this once again. All right, you guys can't hear it. All right, boom. Now we can.
Night. There's more breaking news. New American intelligence on Russian military capabilities connected to deploying a nuclear anti-satellite system in space. The intelligence was briefed to Congress and key allies. 3 U.S. officials familiar with it say the system.
Can you guys hear it now?
Remains under development, not yet deployed in orbit, and according to one of those officials, it's not yet even clear how far the technology has progressed. So, for more on what to make of it, we're joined by Leon Panetta, who served as Defense Secretary and CIA Director in the Obama administration. First of all, Mr. Secretary, does it make any sense to you that Mike Turner, the Republican House Intelligence Chair, would release a statement which drew world attention to this intelligence before the Gang of Eight briefing that, according to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, is scheduled for tomorrow?
Well, it's something that does obviously raise questions about what he was trying to accomplish by doing that. Obviously, it is a serious national security threat with the kind of information that's being reported. As to why he would get ahead of the briefings, and I know that the national security chief is going to be going up to the Hill, both with intelligence and Pentagon officials, to brief members of Congress on this important intelligence. It strikes me that what the chairman was trying to do, perhaps, was to try to send a wake-up call to both the speaker and his Republican colleagues that Russia still remains very much a threat to the United States.
Let's talk about, I mean, there's a lot, obviously, we don't know much about the details of this.
All right, so he did mention that Russia still remains a threat. Obviously, yes, it still remains a threat. But I kind of wanted to. Okay, you know what? We're gonna talk about the capabilities and stuff, and then what Russia has already been proving after this. So sorry, I'm totally getting
Yes, but
super distracted.
anti-satellite technology, obviously, any military force would try to knock out an opponent's satellites. What concerns you about this? What do you make of
volume up on CNN video? Got it. Let's see if this works. Volume up on CNN.
It's publicly available out there.
Well, we've been, I think, tracking this ever since I was both secretary and director of the CIA. We were concerned about China and their ability to use laser beams to basically, in some way, destabilize satellites or bring them down. This involves the possibility of nuclear weapons in space. It's a military capability, and using those nuclear weapons in space to basically either paralyze these satellites or bring them down. And what is the problem? The problem is that we use satellites for communications purposes. We use satellites for intelligence purposes. We use satellites for GPS purposes and other information purposes as well that relate to our national security. If Russia could blind our ability to be able to gather that kind of information, make no mistake about it, that would be an act of war because it would threaten our national security.
And I mean, is that technology? I assume the U.S. would be looking into that any kind of technology like that themselves.
Well, without question, I mean, the United States would obviously be looking at similar ways to be able to disable both Chinese and Russian satellites, but more importantly, to defend against their use of these kinds of military capabilities. So I'm sure that the Pentagon is developing the ability not only to track what the Russians are doing.
Yeah, so you mentioned the start. There are, yes, obviously there's so many Starlink satellites and everything, and Putin did kind of like mention Elon Musk in the Tucker Carlson interview, which I thought it's kind of funny, the fact that he's trying to disrupt the satellites, but because he mentioned Elon Musk in a like very positive way. So let's continue listening to this.
And determine whether or not they're going to try to deploy something like this, but also how do they defend against it if it should happen?
It is. I mean, if that was Mike Turner's objective to kind of wake House Republicans up a little bit about Russia's intentions or the reality of Russia, I mean, that's an interesting idea. Given, I mean, do you think it would have any impact even on support over the war for Ukraine and the war against Russia?
Well, you know, I look, I think one of the worst messages the United States is sending right now to the world and to Russia is our delaying the supplemental request in terms of military aid to Ukraine, to Israel, to Taiwan. And what's essentially happening is that we are playing Putin's game right now by those who are refusing to take up the supplemental. So does it jeopardize our national security? You're damn right it does.
Not to mention the former president saying that he would encourage Russia to invade a NATO country that doesn't pay its bills.
Well,
to his liking.
That just adds to the concern, because now you've got the former president of the United States inviting Putin to attack another NATO country if they aren't somehow fulfilling their 2% pledge. It's crazy. It's something that obviously concerns our allies when a former president says something like that. I just hope that the speaker and Republicans who, need to look at the Senate. There was a bipartisan vote, a strong bipartisan vote, 70 votes that voted for the supplemental. I think the House, both the Speaker, the Republicans, the Democrats have to come together to now move this supplemental. It is critical to the message we send to the world about U.S. world leadership.
Leon Panetta, thank you for your time.
Yeah, he's absolutely right in this one. Because it's very the kind of message that we're really putting out there right now, and especially with Russia and all of this heightened different things. It's very very critical to not to over explode something out of proportion, because there's so many tensions. Um, let's see. Laura asked, "Do you think China has same ability?" Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. And then back in the day, we actually they're saying that China has laser capabilities as well. So yeah, I'm sure they do too. Let's see. The germ warfare is more of a threat. Yeah, I know, right? Elon is a wannabe dictator and probably looks up to Putin. He is willing to help Russia geofencing Starlink in Ukraine. Now, Russia is buying Starlink from other countries and using it in Ukraine. That's funny. So, I wanted to, um, talk about the. I literally just. Oh my god! I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. You know what? I'll find it again. So let's continue on. I wanted to show a couple other stuff to you guys. Oh my god. I can't believe that I actually lost my train of thought. Okay. So this guy, if you wanted to, so I'm gonna drop the link in here. So this guy is really really neat, and so his YouTube is Sandbox, and he's like used to be in the military. He's medically retired from the military, so he really breaks it down exactly like the Russia's orbital nuke, and the way he breaks it down is very very understandable. So if you guys want, please do go subscribe to him as well. So he's really good. And let's see. Oh my goodness. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Today. Share screen. Me. Oh my god, who uses AOL anymore? That's so funny. Okay. I wanted to show this really fast.
Members of Congress to a secure room at the Capitol.
Oops. Here it is.
An unconventional warning on Capitol Hill. Chairman Mike Turner of the House Intelligence Committee summoning his fellow members of Congress to a secure room at the Capitol to review what he called a, quote, serious national security threat. Turner wants the White House to declassify the material so it can be shared with American allies. While members of Congress refuse to share what they learned, three sources familiar with the matter tell NBC News Russia is developing a space-based nuclear weapon designed to target U.S. satellites. Satellites serve as the crucial backbone for U.S. civilian communications, navigation, military operations, and intelligence gathering. The source is adding the weapon is not yet operational. The White House is reviewing its options.
We believe that we can and will and are protecting the national security of the United States.
On Capitol Hill, members entered the secure space, but couldn't say much when they left.
I think I'll allow, the president and the executive branch to opine about what this means.
And while everyone agreed the threat is serious, they told the public they did not need to worry.
I want to assure the American people there's no need for public alarm. We are going to work together to address this matter.
This warning comes as a $95 billion national security supplemental package, which includes funding for Ukraine, passed the Senate, but is now stalled in the House. Republicans insistent they won't move funding overseas until the situation at the southern border is under control. But that's not all. The House is yet to approve the reauthorization of a federal surveillance program that intel leaders believe is essential to fighting terrorism and helping support the U.S. military. Some members of the GOP believe the program encroaches too much on the president's privacy. A planned vote for this week was postponed.
And the White House will brief the so-called Gang of Eight, which is the 4 congressional leaders and 4 intel chairs and ranking members next week. They will then weigh if declassifying this information is possible. Savannah?
All right, Ryan Noble is on Capitol Hill. Thank you, Ryan. We are joined by Paul Contreras.
That's funny. Yeah, so it's not a serious threat because I remember what I wanted to say. So when I studied, when I was in the military, and I studied a lot of the Russian capabilities of their CBRN, like chem-bio-rad nuclear capabilities within the military. And it was really interesting because it was really interesting to see the kind of capabilities they have, and especially defense capabilities, as in like, hey, if something happens, if there's like a chemical weapon on a field or anything, and the defense capabilities as in decontamination of the troops, decontamination of the area, it was good. Like the defense capabilities was just fantastic. And I was extremely impressed at the time when I was studying those military style or military equipment, right? But what Ukrainian war really showed to us is the fact that their equipment sucks. Their equipment is Soviet Union, Soviet era style equipment. Like the tanks, everything else is outdated, and it just sucks. The training sucks within the military. Their military tactics is like completely unorganized, and so now it makes me doubt a lot of stuff that Russia's military actually has. And when I was studying back then, because how much was it over propaganda? How much was it of just kind of like, oh yeah, this is what we have, but they really don't. And them coming out and kind of leaking it out or anything else about this nuclear powered satellites that can wipe out all the other satellites through the EMP and everything else, I'm kind of doubting if they're actually going to progress that. And I bet even their nuclear weapons capabilities, they're so outdated. They're probably like either unmaintained, outdated, or they're just like barely maintained. It's still most likely Soviet era nuclear capabilities. So I'm not very impressed with the tactics. It's a different type of war in 2023 technology. Yeah, you're very true. Very, very true. Oh, yeah. So, speaking of China, actually, started with yeah, thank you, China. Yay. Oh my God, Pigeon is here. Pigeon, everybody's been looking for you. Everybody's been looking for you. So I wanted, let's see. Okay, so there is this website that I was talking to you about earlier. It's a nuke map, right? Nuke map, and it's been developed by this guy Alex. And so the nuke map actually, and I'll show it to you. So I used to use it. I used to use it for hypothetical scenarios. Yeah, I've been here. I'm in class. I actually have a class at 6 p.m., so I'm not gonna stick around here for very, very long time either. So back in the day, for hypothetical scenarios, I used to use this as calculation of the fallout. And people do forget do San Diego. You want me to do San Diego? Okay, I'll do San Diego. Let's see. So I used to use this as a hypothetical scenario, this and that, and I just want to let you know it's not real. It's just hypothetical, because what it does, it calculates the known yield of the nuclear weapon itself and a different type of nuclear weapon. So I am going to, I guess we'll do San Diego, and we are going to use Tsar Bomba. Tsar Bomba, which is Russian-developed nuclear weapon, it's the largest nuclear yield weapon that is out there developed, which is nuts. I can't believe. And there's another thing that Russia supposedly have is the nuclear submarines. And imagine having the undetected, drone-operated nuclear submarine going to any kind of port and just like, okay, nuke map. Yeah, there you go, nuke map. Thanks for this very informative stream. Vital information, good for everyone. Yeah, exactly. And Russian propaganda took on a life of himself. Very true. And I think I don't trust Putin either. Nobody trusts Putin. So I think he actually proved himself to be like absolutely worthless. Okay, so what are we doing? We're doing San Diego, right? Nuke map. So nuke map is pretty neat. They have, you can pre-select different cities, or you can actually, let's do Russia. But let's see, Sassy Putin. So you can pre-select city, or you can actually name the city. So let's do San Diego. So remember, this is hypothetical scenarios, right? And I used to use this as my training scenarios, and just something like very, just, let's see. Okay. This is gonna be like nice and hangout spot. But right now, because I said what I said, I'm on that map. There you go. Let's Tinkle Tits McGee. Alright. Okay. We'll do, you can do the different yields in kilotons, right? You can do 15 kiloton, or 5 kiloton is like, it's very fairly smaller, but 50, or we can actually preset. So we have, let's see, North Korean that tested in different dates. Oh my God! Speaking of North Korea, their nuclear technology, yeah, it's there. They have it. They have the nuclear weapons, but their nuclear technology is not even going to reach anywhere else, because they can't even get their missile technology correctly. My mom loved San Diego in the 60s. Ooh. Okay, so Laura Lee, let's see, not gonna text myself, but trust me, I live in a highly target area. Don't we all live in a highly target area? 100? You want 100? Okay, no. Okay, so let's do, so Little Boy, for example, this one, Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima, right? I don't know if you can guys. All right, so Little Boy, I'm choosing the different, actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna do a little bit differently, sharing the screen. That way you can guys actually get to see what I'm doing. There you go. Boom. There you go. Woo! Get to see my mouse. And then all of the cool tabs that are open. Yeah, right. Okay. Alright, so here you go. And here, so obviously we selected San Diego, and we can kind of like, I don't know if you can, oh, you guys can see, oh, you cannot see the drop-down menu. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So anyways, drop-down menu, they have Davy Crockett, which is smallest U.S. produced bomb. It's 20 ton. And they have a crude nuclear terrorist weapon. It's 100 ton. And let's see, they have B-61 Mod 3, which is the lowest kiloton currently in U.S. arsenal. It's about like 300. They have North Korean weapons tested in 2006, which is 500 ton, and 2009, 6 kiloton, and 13 is 10 kiloton. But so to kind of put a perspective in the kiloton, the Fat Man, the Nagasaki bomb, was about 20 kiloton, 20 kiloton explosion, right? So they have like largest Pakistani weapon. Where's the Tsar Bomba? I'm looking for. There you go. Tsar Bomba, largest USSR bomb design. So that's there you go. You can guys see it now. So the Tsar Bomba. It's free to subscribe. It is free to subscribe, and we are going 11 strong in here. Woo! I love it. Okay, so there's another option. It's airburst or surface. So with the difference between those two, the airburst is going to have more of a fallout, right? More of a radiological fallout, and it depends on the wind speed and where it's going to go. Surface will have more of actual, like more of an explosion on the surface itself, and it'll create a crater. So if you see like a mushroom cloud, it's most likely airburst. Let's see, and we're gonna do radioactive fallout and casualties. Okay, you guys ready? Hold on, drum roll, please. We're gonna detonate. We're gonna detonate. All right, I'm gonna change out some of the music in here. You guys ready? Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. We're gonna detonate San Diego. You guys ready? Boom. That's a lot. So this is Tsar Bomba. So you have estimated fatalities, over 2 million. Estimated injuries, closer to 2 million. Let's see. Is hydrogen propellant still used, or that involved in other volatiles? Yeah, that's involved with another like completely another one. So their missiles actually, they're developed with a very I don't want to say simple technology, but with a very like simplistic in a way technology, because it's ICBMs, right? The intercontinental ballistic missiles. But there's some ICBMs can actually carry the nuclear weapons on itself. For example, let's see, cluster bomblets. No, cluster bombs would not be able to. It's more of a chemical. Okay, anyways, so I'm gonna get back to this in a minute. So there you go. So this is Tsar Bomba, right? And then we just did an airburst. So it's pretty much everybody's evaporized in that area. So it's 100 megaton airburst, fireball, different radius. But if you do a surface, that way you can see the actual fallouts, right? So let's just say the winds are going from northeast, right? Or so this will be the radiological fallout of the Tsar Bomba. And then you can move like it's pretty neat because you can move like any directions. For example, just say from south up to up north, right? The whole state of California it'll be affected. So this is one of the largest nuclear weapons that is available right now, actually developed by Soviet Union. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Let's do just for comparison, we're gonna do Nagasaki 20 kiloton, right? Just for comparison. There you go. And just kind of, you can tell that it's a lot smaller, and it's scary. It is truly scary, the fact that that can reach anywhere. So also this whole nuclear satellite, nuclear weapon, and everything else. First of all, it's breaking the START Treaty of 1967, right? Second of all, it's not to deploy nuclear weapon on Earth. It's most likely to disrupt the satellites through EMP. So yeah, let's do it one more time for a comparison. So you got Nagasaki, right? So this is Fat Man. Or Little Boy, which is Hiroshima. All right, so this is Little Boy, right? And then we're gonna do Tsar Bomba, for comparison again. So there you go, Tsar Bomba for comparison. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. With all the radiological fallout and stuff. That's it. If it goes like down south, Mexico's gone. All of this is unusable for hundreds of years because of the radiological fallout. So it's nuts, right? Yeah, nuts. Oh, what kind of other ones they have? So I really like this nuke map, but they also have a missile map. Like, their missile map is pretty neat too. So it's basically, it's a similar map, but you get to choose like the different types of missiles and the range and everything else. So like, whoever developed this it's pretty. They probably have some PhDs in this, or they're just a whole bunch of nerds like me. Anyways, so here I'll drop this nuke map. I'll drop this link for you guys if you want to play around with it. Boom. There you go. I wonder how fast satellites could be replaced. Not very fast, because the deployment of the satellites actually requires like quite extensive. Well, actually, you know what? I bet they can replace it fairly quick, because they have to have backups, right? They have to have the backup satellites. But see, another thing is like with this kind of weapon actually circulating in space. So like with this kind of weapon circulating in space, how do you specifically target the satellites, right? Because if you explode the nuclear weapon, it's going to create EMP, which will wipe out all of the satellites within the range, within the area. So I'm wondering, like, how do you predict to make sure like none of your satellites are there? Another thing is we still have the ISS, the International Space Station, in space. We still have all of this other stuff in space, and I think it's just a scare tactic in reality. Like, I truly think it's a scare tactic. Yeah, scare tactic itself. I got a class in an hour. Let's see. I love this. Crunch Country. Get some fun music for you guys. There you go. Yeah, very much scare tactic. Yeah, because I don't believe that they actually have the capability. I don't. Show it to me. Right? It's 1 a.m. here. Oh no. You know, maybe, Nikki, I'm gonna do some earlier streams next time around. So that way you can get up here as well. So so I have this, my mom brought this thing from Ukraine. It's pretty neat. So this is Ukrainian vodka. And it's born in Ukraine during the resistance, right? So it's pretty neat. And then it's Nipaborna. But I will never open this bottle. I will never open this bottle. Has he been antisocial today? He got his little bone and he just ran away, and he was just like, that's it. What is in the house? Could very well be. Yeah, has he decided? That's why his chair is like pushed away. I do have a Hazzy cam in here, but Haz doesn't want to participate like no any other dogs. Woody! That's awesome. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to. This guy, you know what? I'm actually not gonna dox it. Okay, so this guy, he is NASA scientist, right? He's a senior scientist, and he does the space weather. And a lot of people have been asking me, like, "Hey, what's the space weather?" Because it's like this new trend or new buzzword within the emergency management world, because a lot of the policies have to be like not redeveloped, but more of like applied, and have the space weather included into those emergency management policies. And the space weather is actually like solar flares. Solar flares, since we're speaking of EMP, they can cause the disruption. They can cause actually like communications, because it's communications breakdown, because it's kind of like an EMP. Solar flares, yes, solar flares. So that's the space weather. Another thing with the space weather, well, actually the satellites falling out of orbit, and then if it does happen, or meteorites or anything else, so that has within this whole climate change thing, it has to be included now. Oh yeah, so you guys, it's been shipped. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take and stuff. And Nikki, you have a little birthday present in there too. I included something else with a shipment. So yes, the Hazy cup has been shipped. Let's see. Oh, so space weather, solar flares. Here. Let's see. Solar flares. So let's talk about those. Space weather. Okay. This website is pretty cool. I like just hanging out with you guys over here. This is awesome. All right. Space weather. Haha. So this is Space Weather Live, right? Spaceweatherlive.com. And if you guys are interested, here's the link again. Was sponsored by StreamYard, finally, because they actually reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, you've been streaming all of this stuff." Yeah, school is stressful. Speaking of school, I have one in an hour. Let's see. Gansling a rock. Try to get a little bit. Oh my god, so this okay, so before we get into the space weather, I'm playing this one for Tinkle Tits. On purpose. Because we're gonna drive him nuts. No, okay, so the story behind it, I was doing the stream about just kind of just lo-fi music and just relaxing and everything. And I had this music on a very, very low in the background while I was like just playing another music. And it drove him insane. He's like, I think I hear something. I think I hear this. I think I hear this. This like little beat and stuff. Oh, it's funny. So, anyways, I'm just picking on him. Yep. Twinkle tits. Okay. Actually, so I thought about like the last live I did about it, Tucker Carlson and Putin. Let's just say it'll be pretty interesting stripper name. Tucker Putin. Tucker Putin as a strip name. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to the space weather. So this one, solar flares. The plot on this page shows us the most recent 24-hour solar X-ray data. So this basically keeps track different solar flares, and then if they're going to be damaging or not. It's a nerdy kind of thing. If you have, so they did about 100 years ago. They did have like a major. They did have a major solar flares that disrupted a lot of agricultural stuff, but obviously the communications weren't there yet, so that's why it didn't cause a lot of disruption. But now we have all of this technology, and we rely on all of these computers. And if it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't be talking to you right here, right? But but if the solar flare does happen right now, it's gonna cause a crazy disaster. Tuck is a drag term. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Let's do a drag queen, Tucker Putin. There you go. Tucker Putin. Sorry, I don't know why it's so funny. Okay, no, he eats pilmeni. Yep. A real time traveling. Okay, so solar flares. I don't know if you. Okay, I think it's a bit too much to explain what coronal mass ejections are. So there's a C class, M class, and X class, right? Obviously, the C class is the one that we're worried about, because that's the one that's gonna actually reach us. So this is pretty neat. So this space weather, it's a really neat site, so that way you can keep track of like what's going on with the sun. It's cool. I like space. I like space stuff. Space is awesome. Let's see, what's in the news for the solar flares? Latest news updates: M9 solar flare with Earth-directed SME. Oh, you know what? Actually, we're gonna look this up. So Google, because you know what? You lost in all the space weather stuff. Are you lost in space? Is that what it is? Space weather will knock any out technology Putin regime could launch, right? Oh yeah, for sure. If Putin's regime has any technology that's actually usable. Solar flare takes down electric grid. I think my work will still pay me. Maybe. All right. So let's see. There's a solar event. Oh my god, I can't even spell today. Solar event 1800s. Yeah, there you go. And people don't like particularly. Well, obviously they don't particularly know about this one. It's pretty neat. Wikipedia. The Carrington event was the most. That's the thing I was looking for. Carrington event. Space.com. Okay, so Carrington event, history's greatest solar storm. Extreme solar storms such as 1859 Carrington event can play havoc with technology on Earth. Carrington event was a large solar storm that took place at the beginning of September 1859, just few months before the solar maximum of 1860. In August 1859, astronomers around the world watched with fascination as the number of sunspots on the solar disk grew. Among them was Richard Carrington, an amateur skywatcher in a small town called Redhill near London, England. On September 1st, as Carrington was catching the sunspots, he was blinded by the sudden flash of light. Carrington described as a white light flare, according to NASA spaceflight. The whole event lasted about 5 minutes. The flare was a major coronal mass ejection, a burst of magnetized plasma from the sun's upper atmosphere. Oh, cool! Oh, it's got a video! So I went to Xfinity stuff to and I'm back. It was a solar flare. Oh my god, it was the hackers. It was the Russian hackers. Oh, this is hilarious. No, so Xfinity, I hate Xfinity. Basically, I already replaced my modem with Xfinity modem because I had my own modem and it was great at the very beginning, but and it kind of started pushing me out because I had my own modem and I found this thread on Reddit that they're they start noticing that a lot of other people kind of start doing that crap as well. So I was like, okay, well, finally I'll change to Xfinity modem. No, no, still happening. So, but Xfinity has a I blame Russian hackers on everything. Yeah, Russian hackers. Some people think that I'm a hacker. Are you on Wi-Fi? I'm actually hardwired to a router. Yeah, I'm a to a router, and I'm supposed to be like it's supposed to be like one of the best connections and stuff. Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. Xfinity. Okay, it's got a video. So we're gonna do a video. I wanna watch this video. I'm going in. Oh, 5:16 p.m. Okay. Okay, it's an operative. Hilarious. Yeah, it's funny because like I've seen some crazy stuff on the interwebs, that people were saying that I'm like some kind of conspiracy theory, a hacker or something, right? It's not. I'm not whatsoever. Whatsoever. Why can't the woman do a lot of awesome crazy stuff and love in science and everything else? Hey, Lisa. Okay, so we're gonna watch a video about solar flares right now because this is where the conversation went to. on Cheech and Chong Wi-Fi. Oh my god. I swear, Xfinity is gonna try to push me out. Alright, full screen. Blah, blah, blah. Let's watch this.
Paths charged.
Oh, there it is.
In this visualization, Earth's magnetic field structure is represented by lines that correspond to the paths charged particles would travel close to the Earth. The sun's magnetic field, carried in the plasma of the solar wind, flows continuously by the Earth, distorting the planet's field and pulling it back into a windsock-type structure. The red illustrates the higher density plasma which forms the magnetopause, the boundary between the magnetic influence of the sun and the Earth. The wind also forms a lower density magnetotail behind the Earth, represented by blue in this computer model. This process is happening all the time as the solar wind is constantly flowing by the Earth. But a coronal mass ejection, or CME, can change things. The higher density plasma and stronger magnetic field carried within the CME strikes Earth's
Oops.
field and significantly alters the structure. Here we see the dramatic changes in Earth's magnetic field and the shape of the magnetopause as the CME passes Earth. But close to Earth, the magnetic field is largely unchanged. Earth is protected from the intense solar event. This is the case for a rather ordinary CME. In this example, a CME launched by an X3 flare from December 2006. But what would happen
Oh my goodness, what is going on?
in the case of a more intense event, such as the Carrington event of 1859? With the aid of similar computer models as before, we can explore some of these possibilities. Here, a much stronger CME compresses the magnetic field between the sun and Earth and generates more density in the bow shock, represented by darker red. The front of the magnetopause is pushed much closer to the Earth than usual. Even the field and plasma trailing behind the Earth are more strongly distorted.
Cool. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys all got all of the stuff and stuff. Gail can do science too. Good to see you. Oh yeah. When we can capture plasma for propulsion power is when we'll be able to really advance. You know, actually, I do believe in nuclear, the nuclear power technology, right? Not the nuclear weapons, because it's if you can harvest it the right way and actually contain it, then it can create like it's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy in there. There is a study in England actually about harvesting or actually encompassing atoms like nuclear atoms in within a diamond for the batteries. And it's really interesting concept because like if you can maintain that without like radiological exposure and then harvest it as a nuclear energy, that could be pretty neat. Oh yeah, Toronto's doing some amazing studies too. Carbon emission. Yeah, so that's the thing is the nuclear energy, there's zero carbon emission. It's to be able to maintain it, there's still obviously the nuclear power plants and there's still some byproducts. And then if we can figure out how to get rid of this nuclear byproducts without like actually harming the earth, then that would be amazing. If we could harness the wake forest, that would be level 2 civilization. I know, right? Let's see. Let's play some music. Fusion would be great as always, 10 years away. The paradox. It's clean but can be dirty too. Yeah, exactly. So it's a clean energy, but the byproduct itself is obviously it's dirty. And then what we're doing right now within byproduct, which is buried, within the ground, we create all of these large things and then buried in the ground for hopefully someday we'll be able to figure out how to get rid of the actual radiological waste. Let's see what other music we got. I need to get some awesome music in here. Funky background. There you go. Just a little bit of rock music. Hell yeah. Okay. What about that Iceland is doing using geothermal power and puts carbon back into the ground? USA has springs in Yellowstone. Ooh, that's interesting. I haven't heard that yet. Iceland doing a geothermal power. Let's check this out. Google is my friend today. Let's see. Iceland geothermic power. Cool. Okay, so in 2020, 99% of electricity in Iceland was produced by hydro and geothermal means. That's so cool. So with over 200 volcanoes across the Iceland, also it uses its abundance of geothermal energy to power and heat as many greenhouses. Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. Go Iceland. Go Iceland. Okay, yes, check it out. They put carbon back in the ground. They also heat all the roads this way. That's so neat. Still in infancy. Yeah. Let's see if we can find a cool video or something to display that. That's pretty neat. Okay. There's a 2-minute video right here. Let's share the screen. I would love to move to Iceland. I've been to Iceland actually. Well, physically been to Iceland, to the airport. I haven't stepped out of the airport, so I don't want to say like I've actually been to Iceland, but my body physically went to Iceland. Volcano's not in our control. Oh yeah, for sure. And plus the Yellowstone volcano is if it blows, that's it. Right? Okay, Chrome tab. Let's watch these. Music pause.
In Iceland, nature is a challenge, an inspiration, and a gift. Our hydroelectric and geothermal power stations supply over 82% of Iceland's primary energy needs, and 100% of our house heating comes from renewable sources. Iceland is truly the land of renewable energy.
Geothermal energy is one of the most important bases of quality of life and economic growth in Iceland. In the beginning of last century, we started building infrastructure in order to use the energy for heating of our houses.
Within decades, Iceland had abandoned coal, public health had improved, and economic development accelerated, making Iceland one of the most advanced societies in the world. Since 1967, we have harvested geothermal energy for electrical production too. Today, 30% of our electricity is generated geothermally. In this time, we have acquired valuable expertise and experience that allows us to use our resources sustainably.
No country in the world has so extensively used geothermal energy over the years, developing a cascaded approach to the utilization of geothermal energy. Utilizing geothermal for power generation, direct use, so for heating applications, bathing, industrial applications, food production, and so much more. And the cascaded use of geothermal energy, utilizing high temperature down to low temperatures, has been a tremendous contribution to the economy of Iceland.
Icelandic companies and experts have helped develop multiple geothermal projects all over the world. Icelandic consultants are involved in all stages: research, design, construction, and resource management. And the different actors in the field have years of experience working together.
With the extensive know-how and experience gained in developing geothermal projects in Iceland, Icelandic companies can contribute greatly to the support of development worldwide.
Icelanders are a nation sculpted by the elements. We know that a healthy relationship with nature is everything. Let us help you give back to the environment.
That's cool. That's really neat. I love technology. I love the fact that, you know, other countries are leading in a lot of the research, technology research, because I wish we were doing the same, but you know how there's so many political hoops that we always have to jump through. All of the roads are ice free with winter. Yeah, that's so interesting. That is really neat. Okay. Um so it's 5:28. I have class in 30 minutes. Iceland rethinking this approach due to current natural disasters. The economy may not recover. Very true. Very, very true. Couldn't even control a massive methane leak for weeks. Oh my god. Yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah, so nuclear fusion is the way. Um I do believe in nuclear energy. And if you harvest it properly, and then if we can actually figure out how to maintain or dispose of nuclear waste, the byproduct of, of like refining uranium, and so that way, I'm wondering if we should do a live one time to talk about nuclear power stations. Because I can actually walk you guys through the process, how they refine uranium and how the plutonium, like, because all of this is byproduct, right? It comes from raw uranium, right? And raw uranium actually non-radioactive. It only becomes radioactive when you start bombarding with different chemicals, and because it activates the atoms within. So yeah. Did you guys watch that? I can do like a little presentation, kind of like a prezi something, and we can actually talk about why it is so important to have the levels of enriched uranium, because once you go over a certain threshold, you can actually weaponize it. You can actually utilize that uranium to create a nuclear weapon. So that's why a lot of the stuff with Iran, when a lot of their things are very secretive, and their nuclear power stations are actually on the military bases. So IAEM, which is the International Atomic Agency, they were not able to go and do inspections on their nuclear power stations. And they're saying that they actually reached to the point where the uranium is so refined that they're able to have nuclear weapons. So maybe we can talk about that. Right? Okay, so they just decommissioned nuclear plant north of me. Yeah, and then so California has only one nuclear plant left, and it's Diablo nuclear power plant, but that one is scheduled to get decommissioned as well. Let's see, not to mention the fact that they're operating in reciprocity. Yeah, so also, fun fact for you guys before we close this out, because I do have class in 30 minutes. Fun fact: so uranium, right? when you bombard it with chemicals, it goes through the process. It goes through, basically it starts decomposing, right? Because once it goes through the whole decomposition process, and at the very end, when there's no more active atoms within that element, it becomes lead. So lead is the final decomposition stage of uranium. So that's another reason why radiation cannot pass lead. Boom. Fun fact for you. Yeah, hit that like stream. Okay. You guys are being absolutely fantastic. Pendleton, yeah. Overwhelming, but I like to learn more. It is overwhelming. It's very overwhelming. And I'm going to try to break it down as much as I can. Yeah, I'm going to do that for you guys. And I'm going to try to, because I know like my brainsicles are like over here, but I need to able to break it down to, so that way the topic will be a little bit more digestible. So we can talk about the actually how the nuclear reactors operate and the byproducts and where the inspections come in for the nuclear reactors because of the byproduct, especially like the plutonium byproduct and everything. Because plutonium is one of the byproducts from the enriching uranium. It's one of the counts as waste. And we can talk about like the thresholds that enriching uranium cannot be reached if you're non-nuclear weapon states. So that'll be fun. Yay. Nerdy Anna. Nerdy Anna. Hey. Oh my goodness, you came in just like right when I'm about to step out. I have a class. You gotta hit all. If you do notifications, you gotta hit all notifications, not personalized, but just all notifications. So would you guys be in? It looks like you'll be interested in me talking about the nuclear power plants. Ooh, and we can talk about the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine and why it is so important. Why so important strategically within Ukraine as well, and obviously Russia held that plant. Well, they're still holding that plant hostage in a way. So, okay. Anyways, let's do this. Let's gonna be out, and I am going to go to my class, taking my second master's degree in emergency management for validation. That's all it really is. And you guys are being fantastic. And I love, love, love hanging out with all of you. And I think we're going to start doing this a lot more often. We'll start with one topic and just carry on into multiple other topics and stuff. So remember, be you, be true, be amazing, and peace.